A warm welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Wednesday, August 18th. Marijuana and alcohol continue to be the drugs of choice among Barbadians. However, crack cocaine, ecstasy, and methamphetamine is also on the rise and is causing officials much concern. They were among the findings in the 2019 Barbados Drug Information Network report, which show that marijuana use was especially prevalent among males aged 20 and under. Research assistants with the National Council on Substance Abuse, Laura Foster, who presented the findings today, said special attention should be paid to the increasing use of drugs other than marijuana and alcohol.
We're predominantly seeking treatment for marijuana. But when we look at places like the Substance Abuse Foundation and the Psychiatric Hospital, we're seeing greater numbers of persons seeking treatment for cocaine and also for alcohol. So when we take that data and we look at it against the backdrop of the age-related data, we can see that it may be an issue where marijuana is more problematic among our young people, whilst drugs such as cocaine and alcohol are more of an issue for our older persons in society. I also want to take the opportunity to point out a person seeking treatment for ecstasy at the Substance Abuse Foundation. You can see the little green line there. And I point that out because that's one of the elements that we use to suggest or to identify the possible slow diversification of our drug situation here in Barbados.
Acting Attorney General and Minister of Home Affairs Wilfred Abrams says the NCSA will be using the evidence presented in the reports to tailor its programs to help people fight drug use.
The Council uses an evidence-based approach to inform its programs and interventions. Evidence-based approaches are considered to be the gold standard as they're based on research findings and have been proven through evaluation to be effective, as opposed to approaches that are based on personal beliefs or anecdotal evidence. The fact is, I find very often too many of our policies are based on undocumented evidence. People believe a situation exists when the data might actually show something else is indeed the case. And research allows us to understand the details and the technicalities of drug use, and therefore identify and develop effective approaches which target the salient and protective factors at the individual, family, and community levels. As such, Barbados is one of the main pillars upon which the NCSA's program is based.
Opposition Senator Caswell Franklin is calling for Senator Lucille Moe's seat in the upper house to be declared vacant. Addressing the start of sitting today, Franklin said Moe had been absent from the Senate for some 8 months.
Our Constitution is being infringed to the extent where we have not seen Senator Moe since December in this place. December till now is 8 months. And you, sir, have the authority to grant her leave up to 6. So accordingly, her seat must be declared vacant in accordance with the rules, not the rules, but the Constitution of Barbados. She is not here. She's, as far as I'm aware, she's out of the island. And the president can give leave to any senator for a period of 6 months. First, initially, you have a 40-day period, I think it is, and then after that, the president can extend it to 6 months. The 6 months have passed. The seat should now, therefore, be declared vacant.
In response, President of the Senate, Reginald Farley, said he would investigate the matter.
The matter is under consideration. They have received requests for leave of absence, which they can advise from the clerks, and we'll make a decision on that very shortly.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your observation, Senator Franklin.
Still in the Senate, Senator Dr. Lynette Holder is of the view that amendments to the Corporate Miscellaneous Provision Bill 2021 will make it easier to do business in Barbados. She stated the position in her contribution to debate on the bill which was passed in the upper house today.
That if articles of incorporation submitted to the registrar are accompanied by a statutory declaration by an attorney at law that to the best of his knowledge and belief no signatory to the articles is an individual described in the section above, that is, that individual is of sound mind. So the truth is, Mr. President, that the attorney at law in the past was simply certifying that that applicant was of sound mind. And to do so, that applicant ended up paying a significant sum, because in certifying the application, well, the attorney proceeded to incorporate. But what we're seeking to do today, Mr. President, in this revision, in this amendment, is to now remove that provision.
Now to the latest COVID-19 numbers. 13 new COVID-19 cases comprising 6 females and 7 males were recorded in Barbados on Tuesday. They were identified out of the 1,381 tests conducted by the Barbados Santos Public Health Laboratory. There are 127 people in isolation. The country has recorded 4,594 cases and 48 deaths since the start of the pandemic. Meanwhile, public health officials have administered 101,228 first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, while 87,096 persons have received second doses. Those who are fully vaccinated represent 32.1% of the population.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, Deputy Governor General Errol Charles says the government of St. Lucia will appoint a special prosecutor to probe allegations of corruption against the former administration. More in this report from HTS News Force.
His Excellency Charles unveiled the policies and the legislative agenda of the Philip J.P. administration in the traditional throne speech at the opening of the new parliamentary session on Tuesday.
My government, in recognition of the widespread, unprecedented reports of alleged corruption during the term of the last administration, will appoint a special prosecutor to investigate allegations of corruption in government. This appointment is expected to be completed soon. My government will strengthen the Integrity Commission to return our country to a system that respects our democratic norms and the rights of the people.
On the international front, reports are that at least 3 people were killed in anti-Taliban protests in the Afghan city of Jalalabad on Wednesday. The development comes as the Islamic group moved to consolidate power and Western countries ramped up evacuations from the chaotic Kabul airport. More in this report from Reuters TV.
The Taliban fighters opened fire during the protests against the militant group, and that more than a dozen people were injured in the shooting. Video footage showed protesters carrying Afghanistan's national flag down the street, and witnesses said the gunfire followed an attempt by local residents to install the flag at a square in the city, 90 miles east of Kabul. The killings mar the Taliban's promises of peace following the militant group's rapid sweep into the capital, and come as it tried to set up a government. Many Afghans are skeptical of the Taliban's promises, which included respecting the rights of women within the framework of Islamic law. Some said they could only wait and see. But in a recent interview, a senior Taliban leader told Reuters that Afghanistan would not be a democracy.
The system of the government is clear. That is an Islamic government. Sharia law would be, of course, there would be no democratic system at all. because it doesn't have any base in our country.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.